Psst, computer. Define dancing.
Dancing, a series of movements involving two partners where speed and rhythm match harmoniously with music.
What is choreography? Is it dance? Is it movement? Anyway, that's the question I would like to talk about. When most people hear the word choreography, they think about dance. But I actually want to argue something a little different, because I think music performance itself can be choreographic. Not only because musicians move while performing, and not only because film uses editing and camera movements, but because rhythm already carries a sense of choreographic elements inside them. Music organizes time, choreography organizes movement, and the second the rhythm hits the body, the movement begins. So that's what I'll be talking about, and I will be doing a live demonstration also on my drum kit for academic purposes. Obviously, not because I wanted an excuse to just play the drums for a project. At its simplest, choreography is the organization of movement of time and space. That definition is bigger than dance steps, and dance is one form of choreography, but it is also described as how movement is shaped by rhythm, timing, and structure. Because once you think about it, choreography is actually everywhere. Sports have choreography, stage blockings have choreography, fight scenes have choreography, and marching bands definitely has choreography. So if choreography is not just dance steps, but the shaping of movements through time and space, the music performance become really interesting because music is already recognized through time and tempo and everything about that. And when musicians perform, their bodies respond to those things. Their movement is shaped by time, by pulse, by rhythm, and their energy. And even stillness matters, because a pause in music is not empty, it's a part of the whole song. So choreography does not only begin when someone starts dancing. Sometimes it begins the second the rhythm enters the body. Now, let's move from the listener's body to the musician's body. Musicians are always moving, and it's not just because they're alive. Their movement is shaped by the music they're making. A piano is leaning in to play a note. A singer is lifting their chest before singing. And a drummer is coordinating their feet, their hand, and their torso at the same time. These movements are not random. They come from rhythm, techniques, phrasings, and practices. So when a body repeats a pattern in relation to the rhythm, the performance becomes choreographic. That is movement in time, space, structured, and repeated. And close-up isolate movements. Cuts underlines rhythm, and camera's cuts extends the phrasing, which is also why choreography is intensified by film as well. So choreography is not only in the musician, it is also how a performance is presented. Let's start with Whiplash, which remains one of my favorite movies. This film talks about drumming and presents it like an action scene, which is a very intense way of telling us that this man wants to be a musician and he practices jazz. And in Whiplash, drumming is almost like hard labor because it uses repetition and you can see the physical strain on the characters. The camera doesn't just observe them, it also attacks the performance. It isolates the gesture and turns each strike into something significant, and the editing just mirrors that rhythm. And as the drumming intensifies, the cuts get faster, so we don't just hear the rhythm, we also get to see it. And not just Fletcher and Neven moving, we also get to move along with the film. And I must say, J.K. Simmons and Miles Teller both do a fantastic job.
Say that again?
Anyhow, this aligns with Aaron Bragnigan's idea that cinema itself can be choreographic, arguing that it exists across the performer, the music, and the editing. And the result is not just something groovy and fun, it's also very intense and dramatic. There's another layer connecting Whiplash to what comes next. Color. In Whiplash, the palette is tight and controlled with dry, muted tones and pale lighting. Everything feels contained. Even the warm tones don't feel comforting. They feel tense. The environment reflects the pressure of the performance. And now you compare that to La La Land. Here, the color opens up. Everything is gentle, saturated, stylized, dim, and more importantly, it changes over time. Early on, the colors are bold and separated. and later on they soften and blend together, but it's dark and intense to reflect the plot, without spoiling anything. So, just like rhythm structures movement, color also starts structuring the emotional progression of the film, which means before anyone even starts dancing, the film is already choreographing how you feel. Now let's move on to La La Land. Unlike Whiplash, this film fully embraces the musical theater aspect. But what matters more is how the choreography expands. In the opening highway sequence, the dancers move across cars, the camera glides through the space, and the colors fills the frame. That kind of rhymes. Anyhow, the camera doesn't just record the choreography, it also participates in it. It has timing, it has phrasing, and it moves with the music. So choreography becomes the entire system. The body, the camera, space, music, and the color. And this is the contrast. Whiplash compresses movement into pressure, and La La Land expands it and let it flow seamlessly. Also, does anyone just realize that J.K. Simmons is always the bad guy in a music film, I guess?
You're fired.
Talking about digital medias, we obviously can't forget about animations. And surprise, surprise, even animations contains choreography. Let's talk about Soul. It pushes this idea even further. It's an animated film, which means this concept becomes abstract and exists purely on a different dimension, I guess. So here, choreography is not tied to bodies. The shapes drift, the colors shift, the space expands, basically the same idea, but just in animation. And this film visualizes what music feels like through only visuals. So choreography now gained a new aspect, transformation. And instead of the dancers moving, the entire animation moves to showcase the music, which proves that choreography doesn't need dance steps. It can just use visuals to demonstrate the idea of the movement with whatever medium it may use. And now for the live demonstration part. Woo! Alright, if rhythm carries choreography, drumming is an example of how that is visible. Give me a beat. Now you see my hand repeats, and they each have a different rhythm. My foot controls the pedal, and my body is always adjusting. So clearly, that is a structured movement. Give me a fill. Now you see the movement expands as I move across the kit to different drums. And that's how rhythm can also create a sense of direction. Play something different. Now you see at the end there is silence and pauses. And that matters too, because that's a part of the piece. Hence why it's choreography as a whole. Give me something intense. Forgive me, I'm still practicing, so it might not be the best, but you get the point. I can add tension, I can add pressure, I can add intensity, and also speed too if I wanted to. Lastly, it's not just the performers. It's also about you, the audience. Film directs attention. It tells us where to look, when to participate, anticipate, and when to feel tension. So even if you're not moving, you're still being guided on where you should look. And this expands choreography beyond dance. Music structures bodies, film structures your vision, and animation structures your feeling. So choreography isn't just technique. It is a way of organizing movement and also the human experience. So, in the end, choreography is not just all about dancing. It's about the rhythm that already exists within your body, how you respond to them, and what music, an external force, does to your body. So, if drumming counts as choreography, then I guess I'm a pretty damn good dancer.